Weird rules from around the world. Have you heard that in some places you can get in big trouble for eating gum or wearing certain colors is just not okay? Each country has its own laws, but some of them sound so strange that they're hard to believe. Have you ever thought about why these strange rules exist? We are going to show you some of the strangest and most surprising rules you have never heard of in this video. It is illegal not to smile in Milan, Italy. The Happy Law is still in effect in Milan today. It is one of many old rules that haven't been thrown out yet. To be more exact, the rule that everyone in Milan must smile is not a law but a local one from the time of Austro-Hungary. It's not clear if this also goes for tourists who are just visiting the city of Lombardy, but everyone is free to follow the rule. There are some exceptions to this law, just like with any other law. People who are at a funeral or at the bedside of a family member who is sick are obviously the only ones who shouldn't have to follow this rule. Also, there are exceptions for people who work in hospitals and for patients. It's not clear why the government made that particular rule, or why it hasn't been thrown out yet. On the other hand, it might help make the city in northern Italy happier. Anti-money destruction laws in Scotland. Two of Scotland's most well-known rules make it illegal to destroy money. There are two different rules that allow for different types of money changes. The first one is the 1928 Currency and Banknotes Act. A fine is given to anyone who prints or stamps, or by any other like means impresses, on any banknote, any words, letters, or figures. This is stated in Section 12 of the Act. Although it is not stated what the interdiction is for, we can only guess why the officials made this rule. On most banknotes, there are pictures of well-known and important people who have left their mark on the past of that country in some way. Every bill and coin in the UK has a picture of the ruler on it. It's easy to see why drawing or stamping on the face of the ruler was seen as scandalous and therefore illegal in Britain, where people have a lot of respect for their kings and queens. Sterling pound coins copy 8*. A second law is even more detailed about what it means to not destroy money. The Coinage Act, which was passed in 1971, says that coins can be changed. The Act says that no one can burn or break up any metal coin that was used in the UK after May 16, 1969, or that is still in use. People who break the rule can be fined up to £400 or put in jail for up to 2 years. People in Britain should keep their coins whole because the effects could be bad. One reason for passing such a rule could be that the coins belong to the government. People should take care of public property the same way they take care of their own. Another reason might be to stop people from making fake money or selling the materials that coins were made of, bronze, steel, etc., without a license. The British Salmon Act. While we're still in Britain, we have to talk about the famous Salmon Act when we talk about strange laws. The Act, which was first passed by the UK Parliament in 1986, has a lot of specific rules about how to fish for salmon. Section 32 of the Act, which is called Handling Fish in Suspicious Circumstances, is the most controversial part. Basically, this part makes it illegal to get or throw away a fish that was caught illegally or that someone thinks was caught illegally. Luckily, the punishment isn't too harsh. People who are found guilty of these crimes may have to pay a fine. The law was changed so that it now discourages all types of fish stealing. At first, it was called the Salmon Act. Singapore's rules. Against chewing gum, sticky gum, strange rules. Some people might think it's strange that Singapore has declared war on chewing gum, since it is one of the most developed countries in the world. Singapore does not have a law against chewing gum, so if you go there, you can do it without any problems. You might want to bring a pack with you though, since Singaporean stores won't have it. Singapore has not allowed any chewing gum to be brought into the country since 1995, when they passed the so-called anti-chewing gum regulation. This ban was put in place to help keep the city clean and to keep taxpayers from having to pay a lot of money to scrape gum off of streets. In some cases, like when it's for medical reasons, chewing gum can be brought into the country. It is also legal for chewing gum goods to travel to other countries. It's important not to forget about the punishments for not following the rules. The person who broke the law could get a fine of up to 200,000 Singaporean dollars or even go to jail for up to 3 years. Gaming ban for citizens of Monaco. The small country in southern France is famous for being a major hub for casinos and other forms of gambling. In Monaco, gaming has a history that goes back to a time when the country's economy was severely struggling. In order to get the economy going again, the government chose to make it easier for the gambling industry to enter the market. Monaco has strict rules about gambling, and the main goal of the gaming industry is to use games of chance to bring in tourists. However, people from Monaco are not allowed to go into a gaming house, so they can't enjoy the atmosphere of a casino. The gaming law says that people living in the Principality of Monaco cannot gamble anywhere. The same ban applies to the people who work in the gambling house. There are also a number of other restrictions on entry for people who are in the military, in religious groups, or who are likely to cause trouble. Illegal to climb trees in Oshawa, Canada. In the Canadian city of Oshawa, there are very strict laws that protect trees. A law passed in 2008 makes it clear that you can't mess with any trees on city land. Because of this, it is against the law to climb trees or connect anything to them. As you might expect, hurting or destroying plants or any part of a tree is also illegal. Even tighter rules are written into the law about planting trees. So, no one can plant trees on city property without getting written permission from the government. Individuals who do not follow the restrictions may be charged with a fine under Canadian law. It is illegal to feed pigeons in Venice. Even though pigeons are common in modern towns and no one minds them, Venice municipality has strict rules about these little birds. If you are a tourist in Venice, Italy, remember that it is against the law to feed birds and seagulls. Fines can be anywhere from 25 to 500 euros. The main reason why feeding birds is illegal is to protect their health. Studies in medicine have shown that birds can spread diseases. Another thing that has been seen is that extremely acidic bird poop can damage buildings and monuments. Car wash obligations in Abu Dhabi. The government in the capital of the United Arab Emirates is very worried about anything that might hurt the city's reputation. So, people who drive should clean their cars often to get rid of dust and dirt. If you don't, the police could take your dirty car and fine you 500 dirhams. To get the car back, you have to pay an extra fee. On the other hand, cars also can't be washed in public places because that's against the law. The rule was put in place to keep people from wasting water, damaging paved roads, and ruining the look of the city as a whole. The law in Romania that states how animals can travel. Laws about wild animals are covered by a different law. If an animal like a pigeon, bunny, fish, or other animal crosses a piece of land, it belongs to the owner of the land as long as the animal stays there voluntarily. People who own land don't have any rights over animals that crossed because of theft or fireworks, though. Honeybee groups get extra attention. If a swarm of bees comes onto someone else's land, the landlord can own them if the bee's owner doesn't follow them or look for them within 2 days. The law in Denmark that says masks are illegal, the twins millet face masks. In 2000, Denmark changed its criminal code to make sure that anyone walking in a public place can be identified. Because of this, the law says that everyone who takes part in meetings, gatherings, or events that happen in public places must have their whole face covered. If you wear a mask or paint your face in a way that makes it impossible to identify yourself, you could get a fine or even go to jail for up to 6 months. Any mask worn to protect against the weather, or for a known reason, is not subject to this rule. For example, medical face masks worn during a pandemic are not subject to this rule. Love discovering strange and surprising facts? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the next crazy rule or hidden story from around the globe.